Peace. MC Shawn Love. And yeah, man, we're back to do a little mini review. I'm gonna call this episode 15, just not to get all OCD about it. But we're dealing with a single here, which is a rarity on this channel. Brand Nubian, Walking on a Cloud. And this is the 12-inch that comes from another dimension. I dare you to find out some good information about this. I mean, I've copped this a while ago, man, and I just wanted to complete my brand. You ever have get a little OCD with your records or your files or whatever it is you kids do nowadays, your fucking invisible records? Did you ever get any OCD and you're like, I'm gonna cop a record even though I heard the shit was bad, or I didn't like this, or not this is bad, but whatever, you copy it to just complete your collection. Well, I've got so much Brand Nubian shit from over the years, from cassettes to CDs. A lot of Puba stuff you can't get on vinyl. The stuff that came after like 1994. So as a result, I got all the Brand Nubian vinyl, and I wanted to cop this too. And I saw it, and it's like I've never seen this label before. I've never seen this this distributor before. I've never heard of this track before. It's not on any of the track lists from their records. It's just like a single out of nowhere with producers who I don't know. And, I thought it was interesting, and I thought I'd cop it. So it's Brand Nubian, Walking on a Cloud. I don't want to take entirely too much time delving into the history of Brand Nubian and its associated artists. Would be Grand Puba, of course, Lord J, Lord Jamar, Sadat X, or Derek X, as I remember him. And of course, you got DJ Alamo and Sincere. And, these are the collective guys in Brand Nubian. But Brand Nubian has existed as a number of things. You're talking about Brand Nubian. You're talking about a group that had an impact in several eras of hip-hop music. So not only are we talking about the early 90s, just coming off of late 80s X-Clan and Poor Righteous Teachers, and even like semi-conscious groups that were out at the time. Brand Nubian comes in, and more specifically Grand Puba, comes in with a song called Wake Up, and that shit was just absolute raw hellfire. Just an amazing track, amazing video. Amazing track, amazing video, and it flipped a lot of hip-hop heads on their ear. And like I said, I don't want to do a whole retrospect on Brand Nubian, but just let's try to do this in 2 minutes before we talk about this single. For those of you that aren't familiar, Grand Puba was also in a group early on in the 80s called Masters of Ceremony. Their record is here. This is called Dynamite, and I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's a very young Grand Puba Maxwell there, with the box fade. And this was on a different vibe, and this was released on Strong City Records. And Strong City Records is one of those labels that came and went pretty quick. All respect to Jazzy J. If you don't know who Jazzy J is, you need to fucking look up Jazzy J, because you guys think you got it all figured out with your Africa Bambaataa and your Cool Herc and your Grandmaster Flash story that you got from every fucking where, right? But the thing is, there's a lot of other key players in hip hop. Jazzy J is one of them. You should know about him. Strong City Records was his. He did work with Diamond D, and also my mentor Tony D. This is a very, very, very rare promotional record on Strong City Records. It looked like this. If you look up Tony D's memories, about his favorite records that he participated in, it's he'll tell you that this is like his favorite record, and it's on Uni Records or Jazzy J's Strong City. Just like that Grand Puba record I just pointed out, or the Masters of Ceremony record with Grand Puba on it. From there, of course, you got One for All, where he joins with Sadat X and Lord Jamar. And, of course, Sincere is mentioned on that album, but he's not officially part of the group. Alamo is. And then after, I guess, Grand Puba and Sadat X and Lord Jamar had some kind of falling out. I mean, it was a little ugly because I was alive then, man. I mean, I was paying attention then, and I remember Sadat X did some freestyle on Video Music Box about, it was like, you always talking about skins, in your 30s. By the time I'm 30, I'll be straight. I'm 21. It was a little bit of an ugly breakup. Look it up. I'm sure you can find some stuff out about it. And Brand Nubian was never quite the same after that. Brand Nubian with, the Sadat X, Lord Jamar, Sincere version of Brand Nubian was dope, in a different way, but just as dope as the Brand Nubian that included Grand Puba and Alamo. And, Grand Puba and Alamo went on to do a bunch of records together, which some of you guys are aware of. And Brand Nubian, of course, they released their follow-up, In God We Trust, which is, I think, an amazing album. It's like they took the loss of what was basically their front runner, Grand Puba, you know, their main dude. He had a lot of solo tracks on that first Brand Nubian album. He'd been in the game longer. They lost him, and, you know, they come back, and they just come back fucking firing on all cylinders, you know, with this album here. You know, Everything Is Everything. I won't talk about it. I don't got it in front of me. Send me a copy of it. Eventually, they get back together, you know, in the later 90s. And, you know, 97, they record something that we don't get to hear until later, which is called Time's Running Out. Dope album, you know. And then they get signed, and they, you know, they get this new project put out, Foundation, which, you know, I think is arguably their best album. A lot of people are going to say One for All for the nostalgia factor, but if you listen to this, you know, there's a lot of real talk. That looks pretty fat, almost like a penis tip. You know, so this is a classic record, and, you know, fantastic record. If you want me to review this instead of the one I don't have, Everything Is Everything, I will. You know, or One for All, I'm not going to review. Like I said, I don't want to review Nation of Millions unless you guys send me a copy of it. I'm not going to touch the, you know, all-time classics. I think that that's redundant, you know, because a lot of people have already done it, and you guys already know everything about everything about everything. You know, all the solo members of Brand Nubian went off to have solo careers. You got, you know, Lord Jamar's only solo album, the 5% album, which, you know, I thought was amazing. You know, production here and there, I liked some more than others, but all in all, a great album. And, you know, Brand Nubian gets back together and does an album in 2004, which I have the limited edition red vinyl of. And it looks like this. It's a nice album. It's called Fire in the Hole. And, you know, a lot of people diss the shit out of this album. It's the beats. It's the fact that a lot of it was, you know, inside. It's an inside job with the beats. Didn't have Premiere or any of that kind of standout stuff that they had on Foundation. But, you know, in general, Brand Nubian are very positive on this and, you know, uplifting in terms of their message and their lyrics. And it's a refreshing change to me for whatever else was coming out in 2004 that I didn't fucking want to listen to. I was better off listening to Young Sun, you know, than I was listening to a lot of the shit that was on the radio. So, you know, I like this album as well. And, you know, and since then, Sadat X has gone on to have a, you know, a career that's, you know, he's very prolific. He keeps releasing albums, you know, every year and a half, every 2 years. I did a track with him in 2009. You know, great record, you know, Rare Grooves. You can check that out if you want to. And, you know, Lord Jamar, he released that one album in 2005. And, you know, he hasn't been back with another solo effort since. But he remains to be an actor and a personality and a major presence in hip-hop. So with those kind of eyes, you know, knowing these guys, knowing their music, what do I think of this Walking on a Cloud? You know, I feel two ways. You know, firstly, I think the production's fucking excellent. You know, I mean, Beatnuts beat you to the punch. You know, 1999 Musical Massacre, Puffin' on a Cloud, where they sample this record, and then they also have a singer come in and do the Puffin' on a Cloud shit. You know, so they beat you to the punch on this. It's not the first time it's been used. Praz used it on Ghetto Superstar. I know that Black Rob used the sample too. And, you know, of course, the Beatnuts did their rendition of this with this sample also. This is Love Unlimited Orchestra, and, you know, this is a 40-person or 40-unit orchestra composed and put together, I believe, by Barry White. And, you know, this is a record from 1973, and it's called Under the Influence of Love. It's a dope record. If you play it, you're going to recognize a couple of samples immediately besides this one. You know, but this is a tight rendition of it. It's done by a guy named Vin the Chin. You know, so this smells foreign to me. This whole thing smells like some kind of foreign opportunity. I could be wrong, you know, but I'm guessing it's some foreign shit. You know, and then, you know, so you got side B, which is just Sadat X by himself with Money Boss. And I should mention that it's Boss with two S's with the money signs. And GS of Res Connected is on that track on the flip side, Shine. You know, so there's only 2 songs on this. Radio version, album version, instrumental version, and a cappella, of course, of Walking on a Cloud. You know, so, and, you know, by the way, Res Connected, pretty dope if you check out their stuff. And, you know, the whole thing with this record is where the fuck does it belong? Seems like some kind of a side project that didn't really get any attention. It's hard to locate. You know, it's hard to find. It's sold out everywhere. It's, you know, it always has been. And, you know, from the moment I picked it up, I knew it wasn't on any of their albums. So I was just like, you know, what is this? It's a mystery record. It's not like the track isn't any good, because it is. You know, but it doesn't sound as much like Brand Nubian that you know from One for All, or even from Foundation. You know, it sounds more like a group of solo artists coming together to collaborate. You know, and you know, Sadat X on the song titled Walking on a Cloud, where the titles, lends it from a, under the influence of love, and the other version of it that the Beatnuts did is about smoking pot, obviously. So, Walking on a Cloud, the only one who really sticks to that script or even like connects to Walking on a Cloud of the chorus is Lord Jamar, where he's talking about basically being a stoner. He makes mention of the fact that you don't want him to not smoke, because with his temperament he's gonna start hurting and killing people if he doesn't smoke weed. Sadat X in his verse is mainly braggadocio stuff. He mentions the fact that he's got a Brand Nubian tattoo and that's for life. He says he holds down Brand Nubian more than he holds down his wife. And, he uses a line about his washing his dick off in the sink after a sexual encounter. And, I'm sure that those of us that are in the know that Devin the Dude on the album, The Dude, definitely used that reference about washing off your penis in the sink first. But Sadat X pulls it off here. Lord Jamar, on the other hand, he's got a dope verse. And don't take any of this as a diss. Grand Poobah opens up his verse talking about how he's rhymed forever. He's been going for it for a long time. And, he continues on that kind of vibe during the track. He has a couple of pretty lazy lines in there, like, I'm spitting flows with my Nubian bro. The same guy that said, I learned a verse from the Christians and it goes, praise the Lord. Skin lined up on a waffle when I'm bored. I'm from Nauru. I'm in the right road. And if you like the way that flows, well, that's cool. This is an illusion. The style is so confusing. If you then you're cruising for a bruising. So back up, Sonny, and let me make my money up. I'm straight. I got a day-to-day. So Grand Poobah's got fucking flavor. So for him to say some shit like, oh, I'm spitting flows with my Nubian bros, it's, it sounds like some lazy shit to me. I just got to be honest. I like this record because I love Brand Nubian. I'll always fucking love Brand Nubian. I'm happy that they're still living and breathing and doing music together as late as 2003, and then even later in collaborative projects. But I feel like a lot of them have lost that punch that they had back in the day, and rightfully so, I guess. They're older men. I still think that they all kill it. Their most recent stuff that I've heard is by far better than the stuff that I hear on the radio. But it's I guess maybe it's just my entanglement with not liking the fact that there's a such thing as mortality, and people get older and they get a little calmer and maybe a little, I don't want to use the word lazy, but a little calmer, a little more laid back. I just have a vision in my head where, I'm thinking of all these rock artists, that are in their fucking 70s, that are out there just kicking ass, on stage, wilding out, who knows how the hell that they're still standing after all the drugs they did. I see teenagers, and they're still wearing the Doors shirts and the Led Zeppelin shirts and the Pink Floyds. In the 90s, I really believe that one day you're going to see a bunch of young teenagers go back and say, fuck it, Brand Nubian, the way that a few of them wear the Run DMC shirts. And I'd love to see that. And I think that the way that could happen is like I said earlier in the video, that these guys conquered two eras in hip-hop, early 90s, late 90s. I want to see these motherfuckers get together and make a record that's as good as One For All or Foundation, from production, from cuts, to choruses, to content, to delivery, and just come out and set the world on fire with that shit. That's what I would love to see. That would be an exceptional moment in hip-hop history. If we could see that. And I think they're capable of it, knowing the other artists and the music they've put out as well. If they really got together and wanted to do it, I think that they could. And that's something that I would love to see. That's the way that you keep real hip-hop alive, at least as alive as fucking rock and roll is staying, Alright, y'all, if you want to send me a vinyl record to review, hit me up at lovblog@gmail.com. I'd be happy to review it. Until then, keep buying records. Peace!